The birth of a movement that would popularly be known as Saba Saba started way before the 7th of July 1990. It was Kenneth Matiba and Charles Rubia who came up with the idea of pressurizing the then President Daniel Arap Moi to allow the formation of an alternative voice for the common people through their introduction of multi-partyism. Their vision was to bridge the gap between the rich and the poor, a gap which was inherited at independence and passed on through the successive regimes.
This country has always been governed by right-wing conservatives whose sole basis is primitive accumulation of a few at the top.
Public discontent grew, and over time a clique of men and women who would become known as the Second Liberators emerged.
Viti 13 vigawanywe baina ya upinzani na PAN. Kama ikaanza kusema yataka zaidi ya nusu.
So come July 7th, 1990, a massive movement against Moi regime began to take shape. Hundreds of Kenyans thronged the streets of Nairobi and finally held a rally to demand social justice. The ring leaders were arrested and detained. Some were tortured in the now infamous Nyao torture chambers.
That vision was to radically rearrange the socio-economic affairs of this nation so as to guarantee a minimum decent quality of life to every Kenyan. That has not been realized.
Some of the people now in the key positions that should be championing the cause of reform are now the people who have been entrusted with championing the cause of reform. They are not capable of doing it.
The proponents of the movement argue that these ideals will continue to be elusive.
How deep is this unity? How deep are the suspicions? Ndio tunasema tukubali tumepoteza mwelekeo.
We're wasting our time thinking that this grand coalition government can implement Agenda 4. Agenda 4 is the one that is going to address the long-term historical injustices.
If the government cannot acknowledge what happened to a handful of people, tell me what they will do about the thousands of Kenyans who are the victims of the post-election violence.
They decried the extrajudicial killings that continue to be witnessed 19 years after the beginning of their struggle and wonder whether their struggle was in vain.